first founded the Women's Social and Political Union, a movement better known as the Suffragettes. Rail stations, car parks, shopping areas, and businesses. All the banks and former banks on these streets led the area to be dubbed the Half Square Mile, after the Square Mile financial district in London. Manchester city centre main radio transmitter crowns City Tower, the tallest element of the complex, at 107 metres or 352 feet. A concrete decoration down the side is said to represent early computer circuitry, a nod to Manchester's status as a computer pioneer, particularly with the machine-tagged Baby from 1948, the first computer to have an electronic memory. As we approach the traffic lights, you might glimpse Manchester's Chinatown and its magnificent gate. The district has restaurants, medicine shops, financial and legal services, and supermarkets. The very large white Portland stone building was built as the offices for the Manchester Ship Canal in 1929. Opposite is the former Reform Club, now occupied by restaurants and shops, including Pretty Green, a shop owned by Liam Gallagher, formerly of the Manchester band Oasis. On the first floor is a balcony from which Prime Ministers such as William Gladstone, Winston Churchill, and Lloyd George spoke. Attention! We will shortly be travelling underneath an electric tram cable. For your safety, please stay seated. Known as Metrolink, Manchester's tram system is the largest in the UK. In 1988, government approval was granted. Sandstone building with attached columns on the right was the first permanent provincial bank of England from 1846. Humphrey Cheetham created a school for poor boys and a library. The choir and nave ceiling are particularly magnificent. Once across the River Irwell, we are now in the city of Salford, Manchester's twin. It received city status in 1926. A sleepy place until the Industrial Revolution, it shared its neighbour's sudden rise in the early 19th century. The old church here is Sacred Trinity and started life in 1634. The tower is original. The rest of the church was rebuilt in 1752. The church was founded 7 years before the outbreak of the English Civil Wars in 1642. The most moving monument within the church is to the 400 officers and men of the Salford battalions of the Lancashire Fusiliers. Was the site of the Reverend William Cowherd's Bible Christian Church. In 1809, an aptly named preacher persuaded his congregation to give up meat and alcohol. This became the inspiration of the UK's Vegetarian Society, which was formed in 1847 and still resides in the region at Altrincham in South Manchester. church of St. John the Evangelist is better known as Salford Cathedral. It is the Roman Catholic cathedral for the region and was designed by Matthew Hadfield and opened on the 9th of August 1848. On the 25th of July 1851, William Turner was consecrated the first bishop of Salford. The cathedral's eastern window of 1856 depicts the history of Catholic Christianity in England.
Called Lark Hill. This is now Salford Museum and Art Gallery. The museum and art gallery, with its interesting collections, are free of charge and contain a recreation of a 19th century Salford street, Lark Hill Place. Which has more than 20,000 students. Notable alumni include the comedian Peter Kay and the co-songwriter and guitarist of the Smiths, Johnny Marr. The last house on the left here is the Working Class Movement Library, a treasure trove of pamphlets, magazines, books and other study materials, covering the vital role on the right has overlooked the area since 1867 and was built by public subscription after the death of devoted minster Hugh Stowell to honour his life and work. The church was closed in 1981 and demolished in 1990, but the steeple was retained and actually serves as a telephone mast.
We are now approaching the headwaters of Manchester Ship Canal. In 1882, Daniel Adamson, an eminent Manchester engineer, organised a campaign for the construction of a canal to allow ocean-going traffic to sail inland as far as the city. Manchester Ship Canal was the largest single engineering project undertaken in 19th century Britain. Opened by Queen Victoria in 1894, the trade the canal generated, together with the largest industrial area of Trafford Park, helped bolster Manchester's industry for decades. In 1983, Salford City Council had acquired 220 acres from the Manchester Ship Canal Company. The area we're approaching was rebranded as Salford Quays, and redevelopment began in 1985. Between 1986 and 1990, the infrastructure of the docks was modified to create an internal waterway network. Moorings and water sports facilities were provided, and a hotel, cinema, housing and offices were built. The key to success was providing culture, retail and food and drink. In the year 2000, the Lowry Theatre opened, which was the catalyst for the second and more successful phase of development. Media City UK is the nation's largest concentration of media, principally occupied by almost 2,500 BBC staff, who started to arrive in 2011. Among the buildings is Key House, which broadcasts BBC Breakfast, Match of the Day, BBC Radio 5 Live, and North West Tonight. Then there's Bridge House, where Blue Peter, Mastermind, Dragon's Den, and CBBC are produced. In the main square of Media City UK is a large screen, but the dominant building is the studios with its strong colours. This contains 7 high-definition studios. One of the studios is occupied by the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra.
The next stop is Salford Quays and Media City. You can get
Kung naka-record, di naman pala. Yan, BBC News. Yan. BBC News. Tapos dito sa kanan, ito yung key. ganda. Wow, beautiful building. Restaurant. Mag-shopping muna si madam. Kami sa may Kuwait Plaza beside Mincha City.